What's going on, everyone? Welcome to my AEW All Out review. AEW All Out went off the air about 2, 3, 5 minutes ago, and I thought that even though it's damn near 11:55, 5 minutes till midnight, I thought that this would be a perfect time to do a review. Just get out the way with not having to worry about doing it tomorrow. First things first, man. First off, man. We gotta talk about this time. You know, AEW, man. Their pay per views would be too damn long. Um, I don't know why they have to start their pay per views at 8, knowing that it's gonna go from 8 to 11 o'clock. Like the pay per view went off at like 11:49, so they were like 5, 10 minutes short of hitting the 4 hour mark. So 3.5 hours. But for AEW pay per view for All Out, this was actually a decent show. It wasn't the greatest All Out. All honesty, it probably wasn't better than last year's All Out. But this All Out, man, jeez, so much craziness happening on this show. Um, so I didn't watch the buy-in. Oh, and speaking of the buy-in and stuff like that, AEW's price for an event is so damn high that it's just impossible to order it um on the TV show. Luckily, me and my dad, we were able to find this live stream that did have a live stream for AEW, and it did buff for a little every once in a while, but I was able to watch the show, so thank God for that. But good Christ Almighty, you want me to sit up here and pay $60 freaking dollars for a pay per view? Thank God for the W Network. You could just pay $9.99 a month, but you talking about you want me to pay $60 for a pay per view? $60 for fucking pay per view, dude. That's a UFC fight. That's a boxing fight. You know what I mean? Who wants to pay $60 for? It is what it is. So AEW All Out. So we kicked off the night with the tooth and nail match between Britt Baker and Big Swole, and it was mad to me. Obviously, with the way the match was, I could see why they decided to remove it from the buy-in and put it on the main show. Big Swole getting the win, which in my personal opinion, I felt like Britt Baker should have gotten the win, but then again, probably the reason behind the match being the way it was because Britt Baker just came back from injury, and you got to make sure Britt Baker don't look bad. You know what I mean? So Big Swole picking up the win, good for Big Swole, getting her some momentum. Just to let you know, if I don't say the match list in order, you know what I mean? If I go out of order, I apologize. So the next match. What was the next match? I think it was the 21 man casino battle royale. Hold on, let me go to Wikipedia here and check. Hold on. By the way, I hope everyone had a wonderful Saturday. Mine's been pretty decent, to say the least. Hold on, I'm trying to find the match card here. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Jesus Christ. It's taking forever. Come on. Alright, fuck it. I don't care. We had the 21 Casino Battle Royale, with the winner getting a future shot at the AEW Championship. And when I saw this match, I automatically could tell that no matter what, the winner of the match, Lance Archer, I already knew that when Lance Archer won, I already knew what was going to happen in the main event. I knew that MJF wasn't going to win. If you still thought that MJF was going to win, then I don't know. But Lance Archer winning, in my opinion, was good because after the not so good ideal of having, Lance Archer lose to Cody for the TNT Championship at Double or Nothing was just bad. This is good for Lance Archer, and now we built Lance Archer back up, and he gets not only a match against Moxley, but the rematch that they had in Japan over the IWGP US Championship, and they get there, and he gets his rematch because obviously Moxley, killed him in Japan and everything. But yeah, so Lance Archer wins. I have to say for the Casino Battle Royale, it was decent for what it was. It was what it was. It was decent. One thing that I really want to bring up in this match was the debut of Matt Sydal. And if you don't know who Matt Sydal is, then obviously it's Evan Bourne. And if you don't know who Evan Bourne, and he was the guy that did the Shooting Star Press. They got RKO, which was to this day one of Randy Orton's best RKOs, like out of nowhere to this day, and it's actually my favorite, still one of my favorites. But anyways, back to the real point at hand here. The reason why I bring up Matt Sydal is because it wasn't how he, made its debut. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was happy for Matt Sydal. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. It's what happened when he got in the match. This dude, not even 5 minutes into his debut, does a Shooting Star Press and botches. Scary fall. And I'm sitting here watching on the live stream like, Jesus Christ, like, I'm surprised this motherfucker's still good wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, Matt Sydal, man, I don't know how the hell he was still standing. You know what I mean? So he ends up getting eliminated. But Lance Archer wins. But I just want to bring up Matt Sydal because, dude, it kind of reminded me of the Shockmaster when he debuted. Remember the Shockmaster, one of the funniest debuts to this day. And just the way Matt Sydal just debuts, does a Shooting Star Press, and just completely botches it. It's not a really good way to introduce yourself to the AEW viewers. So feel bad for Matt Sydal. Hopefully he'll pick it up later. But anyways, Matt Sydal is a part of All Elite Wrestling. The next match was, good God, this match was the last man standing match between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. And bro, it's not the match that people are talking about. It's about what happened during the match. Because during the match, Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara, they're fighting on the scrap board. And Sammy spears Hardy. And they go through the table, but Hardy's head hits the concrete. And the fool is literally laid out. And Aubrey Edwards, who's the referee of this match, throwing up the X sign. And obviously, if you've been living under rock these past few years, an X sign is when this person is like legit injured and we need help, Now, and Matt Hardy was like on the ground, like laid out. Now I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, oh my God, like, is this a work? Is this a shoot? Like, you know what I mean? But man, that spot was not planned out, and obviously you could tell the match probably would have went longer than it did, but it had to be short because Matt Hardy was probably fucked up from that spot that they had to cut the match short. Matt Hardy wins, but Matt Hardy is concussed. Matt Hardy is injured, and here's what I'm thinking. So obviously, Matt Hardy's wife is not obviously not happy about. Of course, like who wouldn't be? Your husband is 40 some years old doing a spot like that, damn near killing himself, and yeah, I respect Matt Hardy. I appreciate Matt Hardy, but we can't be these wrestlers. They can't be putting their bodies on the line like that. And I understand you're trying to put your body on the line. I don't want to go on another rant because it's 12:06, and I don't want to go on another rant and wake up the entire neighborhood. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that be careful and be cautious when you're doing these type of spots. Like Matt Hardy is 46 years old. This is not the same Matt Hardy that we saw in the TLC matches with the Dudleys and Christian and Edge for the tag team championships. This ain't WrestleMania 17. This ain't 2001. This ain't 1990 something. This is 2020. This is AEW. This is a new year, a new time, a new a new decade. So it crazes me how these superstars do these type of spots and injure themselves in the process. But hey, we're getting fame, yay! There has to come a point where you have to put your foot down and be like, we can't do this spot because this spot is too much and someone could get seriously injured. Matt Hardy was seriously injured tonight, and dear God, yes, his wife could be, we know how she could be on Twitter, but good Lord, she had every right to be upset tonight. And in my personal opinion, looking back at it, they really shouldn't even have to put in the stipulation because they could have stopped the match. But if they would have stopped the match, there would have been a few people probably bitching because they stopped the match. Why are you stopping the match? And then number two, it's because Matt Hardy's the stipulation. And the stipulation was that if Matt Hardy was to lose, his career, in AEW would be over and he'll have to leave AEW. They shouldn't have put the stipulation in. And I feel like if they didn't, then the match could have ended. And the match, in my personal opinion, with the way Matt Hardy went, it really should continue. And Matt Hardy got some balls. Sammy and the AEW team, they have balls to let this match continue, in my personal opinion. But the stipulation was there. People would have been upset. Matt Hardy, AEW. So, they had to do what they had to do. So, you know what I mean? So shit happens. You know what I mean? Injuries happen. I've said it time and time again. Like, injuries happen. They don't come out of it happen. It can happen to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is, and hopefully Matt Hardy gets better. And I'm wishing Matt Hardy a speedy recovery. But man, just be careful when you're doing these type of spots. Is basically what I'm saying. Anyway, so the next match, I believe it was the Nightmare, or I believe it was after this match. The women, it doesn't matter. It's there. The women's match, the AEW Women's Championship is on the line as Hikaru Shida defeated Thunder Rosa in what was a really good women's match. And I already said in the preview that this is going to be a really good women's match, and it was a really good women's match. Surprisingly, Hikaru Shida got the win, even though Thunder Rosa literally kicked her ass the entire fight. But, Hikaru Shida picks up the win, fights to the end of it, and she picks up the win. Hopefully, in my personal opinion, this is not the end we see of Thunder Rosa in AEW. Obviously, Thunder Rosa is amazing as she was, so I hopefully that they will continue to allow her to be in AEW in the future, and hopefully this wasn't just a one-time appearance because there's literally no one in the women's division to challenge Thunder Rosa. I mean, Hikaru Shida. So, Hikaru Shida retains her title. So next we have the Dark Order versus the Nightmare family, basically. Scorpion Sky, Matt Cardona, and the Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. This was a decent match, to say the least. Everybody obviously getting an opportunity to shine, have their little moment in the sun. Obviously, Colt near the end did not pin. I believe it was who was the person he didn't pin? Was it Dustin Rhodes? I believe it was. I don't know. One of them. But anyways, yeah. And Brody Lee got pissed off, and dissension between the Dark Order and Colt Cabana. This could be teasing Colt Cabana leaving the Dark Order. You know what I mean? Like I said before, decent match. Sad Dark Order loss, but I am glad that Brody Lee wasn't the one to pick up the pinfall or to take the pin, considering the fact that if he was to take the pin, I'm like, dude, he killed Cody and now he's losing to these guys. You know what I mean? So, it's good that Brody Lee didn't take the pinfall, and I know some people were upset. I saw some on the internet. Some people were actually upset that the Dark Order lost because, you see, they need momentum and they done lost momentum. Well, I mean, this wasn't for the TNT Championship. Brody Lee still, little bit momentum still after damn near killing Cody. Well, really killing Cody on Dynamite about 2 weeks ago. So, it is what it is. So, Nightmare family wins, and obviously we heard from Tony Khan that Dustin Rhodes is going to be challenging Brody Lee for the TNT Championship this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. So, can't wait to see that. Next, we had, in my personal opinion, the match of the night. The tag team championship being on the line. FTR obviously defeating Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Now, this might seem like a nitpick, and this is a problem that I've had, especially with NXT for years, is the near falls. We live in a wrestling day where people are just kicking out of finishers, and it's irritating. And I'm trying not to go on a rant here because I don't want to wake up the neighborhood. But basically what I'm saying is, as much as I love Hangman, having Hangman kicking out of the Midnight Express, the finisher FTR used tonight, was just flat out dumb. You know what I mean? They used it 2 times. They shouldn't have used it 2 times. They should have just used it that 1 time and be done. Kenny Omega literally V-triggered this man, killed Hangman, and then he hit it, the Good Night Express. I'm sorry, it's actually the Good Night Express. And then 1, 2, 3, and it should have been in. Not 1, 2, and kick out, and then another Good Night Express. 1, 2, 3, FTR win. Happy life, happy day. That was just... And this is what I don't really like about wrestling nowadays, is how finishers are not really that important. Back in the day, it had to take The Undertaker probably 1, 2 tombstones just to kill Kane. But now, it has to take... it's crazy, man. Like, it has to take 10 last shots for Adam Cole to beat Johnny Gargano. It's crazy, man. I understand it's a cool way to pop the crowd, but when it's at the point where it's excessive, it's crazy. All right, so now we have and also after the match, Kenny Omega, obviously, he didn't turn heel, but he was talking with the Bucks after, and he got in the car and he left. He was like, he's done. He was done. I thought he was going to turn heel, but he didn't. The next match. See, what was the next match? All right. The Mimosa Mayhem, whatever the fuck that name is. basically Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho in that Mimoha Mayhem match. Orange Cassidy hitting the Superman punch on the end. Obviously, Jericho splashing, and Orange Cassidy picking up the win. This was a really good, decent match. Good way to end the feud. Good way of having Orange Cassidy pick up the win. And this is one of the reasons why I like Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho put over Orange Cassidy. And like I said, we're now. This is how you got to create new stars. You got to put them over. And what I love about Chris Jericho's role in AEW is how he's putting these wrestlers over. He could have beaten Orange Cassidy tonight, but he was like, "Fuck no, I'm putting this dude over." Even though his character might be a little weird, but I'm putting this dude over. So it's good that Jericho was able to put this dude over, and good win for Orange Cassidy. I don't know what Jericho's gonna go to next. I don't know where Orange Cassidy's gonna go to next. But as long as Orange Cassidy can say, "I beat Chris Jericho twice," then that's really a lot of momentum for Orange Cassidy in the future of AEW. The main event, the AEW Championship on the line. This match was meh. It was meh, in my personal opinion. And it's weird I say that, because I was so looking forward to this match, and yet, when I watched this match, I wasn't jumping up. I didn't feel excited, because, and I hate how wrestling has become so damn predictable now. Like, you already know what's going to happen, because I knew what was going to happen. I knew, number one, obviously Lance winning tonight. I knew Moxley was going to pick up the win. I knew MJF wasn't going to win. I knew Wardlow was going to have some type of involvement in this match to cost MJF the loss. I knew that shit was going to happen. That's why I'm sitting here just really doing nothing, because I knew that Moxley, I predicted on Friday that Moxley was going to win. So it is what it is. This Double or Not, this All Out pay-per-view was it was 3.5 hours, but like, come on, you know what I mean? And most of the matches were decent to meh, you know what I mean? It wasn't a bad pay-per-view, it wasn't a great pay-per-view. It was decent, it was a 6, 7 to say the least, out of 10. So decent pay-per-view. Obviously Full Gear. I believe it's gonna be November the 7th. Saturday night, November 7th, Full Gear. So can't wait to see that. And this was a good pay-per-view. A decent pay-per-view, not a good pay-per-view, but it was alright. It was, for what it was worth, it was a decent pay-per-view. So and again, speedy recovery from Matt Hardy. Hope he gets better. Now, there is one more match I forgot to mention that took place after the Tooth and Nail match, and that was the tag team match between Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks. That was an amazing tag team match, and I feel like that if the tag team championship match didn't take place tonight, that match would have been match of the night. So, good match and good momentum for the Young Bucks in the future.